Welcome everyone to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today spawning in the northeast corner of the map playing in pink, we've got Corvinus1 playing as the Order of the Dragon, and his opponent in the southwest playing in green. We've got Orc playing as the Byzantines. Welcome everyone to Cliffside, and well, two civilizations that are brought to you with the Sultan's Ascend DLC for Age of Empires 4. I'm pretty excited this matchup, Order of the Dragon. I think you're starting to figure out a little bit better. Same with the Byzantines. And it's really much about timing, right? So we've seen a lot of games recently with the new Sultan's Ascend DLC, but obviously it takes time for the players to figure the civilizations out, like the optimal strategies, the optimal build orders, the optimal playstyles. And I feel like we're getting to the stage of the game where, I mean, a lot of civilizations like the Japanese, the Jushi's Legacy were being figured out a lot quicker, I believe. The Byzantines took their time, but I feel like there's a really strong build order out there at the moment. 3 cisterns early in the Dark Age. If you do play Age of Empires 4, by the way, I do have some build orders for that. Worth checking out, maybe. The Order of the Dragon also being figured out a lot. I think it's been a difficult civilization for a lot of people because I feel like the differences between this variant civilization and the HRE are a little bit more subtle, but they're still very, very big. Like, make no mistake about it. In terms of like comparing variant civilizations to their base civilizations, the Order of the Dragon might seem like they're very, very similar, like super similar, and barely anything has changed, but actually it's far from true. The economy, the units, yeah, sure, the unit names are the same, but the stats are completely different, and that changes the dynamics entirely. The Order of the Dragon take a long time to get going because of the expensiveness of their units. And the economy is very expensive. Obviously, the villages are more expensive, 10 food per villager extra, and also 4 seconds to train extra than a regular villager. It means the economy takes a while to get kicking, but once it does, the 25% increased efficiency of gathering speed for villagers is incredibly strong for the Order of the Dragon. And so it changes up the macro balance quite significantly, especially when you factor in the unit cost and how they play out on the field. You often have less units because they're so expensive and they take double the population capacity. And it means that the way that the Order of the Dragon play is very different. Whilst the landmarks are very similar to the HRE, every unit that you lose as the Order of the Dragon is incredibly significant. Each village you lose is a bigger proportion of your economy. You don't have as many villages as your opponent to start off with, because of the extra time it takes, but also the military count. Every military unit you lose is incredibly significant. Now, we do see a lot of the times with civilizations like the Delhi Sultanate, they do get the healing units out quite quickly. I would be surprised to see the Order of the Dragon kind of transition into that playstyle, making sure they get lots of prelates to heal up and micro back weak units just to keep them alive for as long as possible. Now, in terms of micro, speaking about that, the Byzantines, they've had a really nice week with the Imperial Hippodrome, definitely coming to the fore in terms of popularity. Offers a lot of micro potential, especially bringing back weak units with the Triumph ability. What that Triumph ability does, it increases the horseman damage. Actually, no, that's the Expelatories upgrade. But anyway, the Triumph does give the increased attack speed for cavalry. Also gives them an extra 10% movement speed, and also heals up the units whilst it's deployed. So it's incredibly strong. If you can keep those units alive for the Byzantines, it's a very nice ability. Factor in also the horseman can have the Expelatories upgrade, which increases the attack of horsemen by +2 against villagers, but also gives you a 20 gold bounty when you do kill a villager, so it scales really well nicely as a raiding unit. You factor in the Expelatories upgrade and also the Triumph ability together for the Byzantines, and it's an incredibly powerful combination. Speaking about powerful combination, well, putting the 2 cisterns and connecting them up with the aqueducts is incredibly powerful. It increases that villager gather rate. With the water level at level 1 gives you 5%, water level 2 gives you 10%, and it scales at that 5% each water level. But not only that, the conscriptio means that the production buildings do produce faster, so once the Imperial Hippodrome is up, that Imperial Hippodrome will be producing 40% faster. Now there is that Imperial Hippodrome. Would be nice to see some units pop out, but it's kind of struggling on food at this point. And it's going to be the Minework Palace for Corvinus, and the Order of the Dragon does give some unique techs available. Golden Cuirass, Zornhau, and Bodkin Bolts. Now, those upgrades I haven't really seen as being too significant in particular matches, but we shall see if it is significant today. Speaking about significance, well, Corvinus has got an outpost on that gold, it's clearly going to be a fast castle, getting arrow slits as well to protect it. So in some ways playing similar to the HRE at this stage, at least going for a fast castle, maybe looking to get the Regulus Cathedral to pick up some relics. That's something that the Byzantines will look to try and deny with the horsemen, but he was a bit slow to get some out, right? You kind of expect a horseman to come out very quickly, but instead, it took a while. They'll get there eventually. That is the first one actually at 5 minutes 50 seconds. So relatively delayed, I gotta say. Looking to maybe just defend actually. He's maybe paranoid about aggression coming out from the Order of the Dragon. That's not really the case. He's going for a fast castle. Corvinus' strategy is going to be unpunished. 6 minutes in. Corvinus just moving out front with his scout. Just to see what's happening. It's going to be the Burgher of Palace for the Order of the Dragon. So it's not even going to be a Regulus Cathedral play. And I like this build before the Burgher of Palace. The reason why is because this Burgher of Palace is very different from the HRE one. Not only does it kind of give you a discount on cost, like the Burgher of Palace for the HRE doesn't give a discount on cost for units, but also does give a 30% boosting production speed, which obviously the HRE version I think is 400%. But the Order of the Dragon, you know, it's very expensive units, so it does make sense to give them a bonus in terms of cost reduction, and it's really quite a powerful one at that. Get the premium units for cheaper. Going to get that water level to level 4 now. That's going to be really pumping out units quickly. Like each horseman now is taking 14 seconds to train. Once we get that to water level 4, it's going to drastically decrease even further. Just about to be completed. And it's a really nice bonus in terms of how the water level scales quite nicely for the economy. It only takes a second off actually, to be fair. But yeah, every little bit helps, right? But the water level not only does it increase the gather speed, but also production buildings capacity to build things faster. And once you do get that water level quite rocking and rolling with the economy building as well, like you can really spam out lots of units. Do get a very nice power spike with this approach to the play for the Byzantines. Talking about power spike, well, Corvinus going to that castle age with the Burgher of Palace, and we'll see. Going to be having, I mean, they're still very expensive, right? Going to be going for the early gilded man-at-arms, 140 food and 21 gold, taking 2 population space, of course. And Urka's going to have to be careful. Like, it does have a decent number of military, but hasn't been able to do too much with it. Might actually look to try and do that now, but Corvinus is nicely walled up, or at least he's getting there. It's got the protection on the gold as well, so he's going to be playing quite condensed economy, quite happy for now. Going to be heading out with the man-at-arms. Now, Orc definitely nowhere near the castle age himself. Playing relatively heavy field loads. Just have 15 military units, but hasn't been able to do any damage just yet. Coming in with the archers and a couple of Limitani as well. Trying to pose a threat to the Order of the Dragon, but it's got to do something quickly, right? Because the Corvinus is and the Order of the Dragon, he's starting to produce units, castle age units at that. Does get the upgrade to the man-at-arms. Those will be difficult to deal with if he doesn't get on top of that soon. Now, probably couldn't actually extend that water level to level 5 rather. But each cistern does cost a significant amount of stone as you scale. It's not actually going to be 50 actually. I think that tooltip is wrong. Because once you actually have like a couple built, the next one costs even more stone. So the third cistern costs 150. I think it scales by 50 each time. In any case, it's got plenty of stone to deal with. So it might be looking to go for a second town centre potentially. We shall see. Either case, it's going to pressure on the front. But it is fully palisade walled up here, Corvinus. No way in here so far without burning things down. And is looking to do just that. Does take off the scout though, Corvinus. So that means the vision is going to be a little bit more limited for Urk. Trying to break through, and village is going to be pulled away from barriers. Now obviously there's not that much in the way of military here for Corvinus. He's looking to get textiles just to make sure the dragon villagers survive a little bit better. Does send a gilded man-at-arms, but with this number of units for Urk, he should be able to take care of that. Getting surrounded. I think it's just a case of oh my god, that's a lot of villagers. Holy smokes, the Lance Connector taking off 3 villagers on that gold vein with a blink of an eye, just 1 unit. Gilded Lance Connector getting so much value. By the way, those guys are absolutely bonkers, especially when you factor in Zornhau, which is a really nice upgrade from the Manwek Palace, which he actually has. It leaves like a bleeding effect on the Lance Connector, and it means that the villagers, or whatever it attacks, actually drains in health for a few seconds after they've been hit. Taking 3 villages like that in quick time. It's a very dangerous unit. Trying to break through on the east, but it's not getting all that much luck in terms of villager kills. It's got none so far. It's going to get a market here, Corvinus. Looking to just balance that economy. We've got plenty of villagers on gold, right? Obviously, he's been pushed away from berries. Kind of forced into this a little bit by the aggression coming out for the Byzantines. The Byzantines need to do a bit more damage, you feel. Out on the board. This is great for Corvinus. This bit of economy is so strong. That food income is going to be very, very fast. Not only because it's the board, because the villagers also gather 25% faster. Speaking about 25% faster, though, the cistern level for the Byzantines is at 20%. So that's kind of the differential counted a little bit. Starting to get a couple of archers. Really committing to that feudal age. Oh, was trying to get a couple bit of raiding units, but the man-at-arms have been trapped. Peeling away the weak units, but you can see, looking to use that triumph ability for the cavalry. Will be healing up, but also getting that 20% attack damage increase. The archers on the back looking to take out as many of the... I mean, just see how tanky they are, though. It's so hard to kill. Diving in on that gold vein. Diving in pretty deep. It does have an outpost there, Corvinus, and the TC almost fully garrisoned, so Urka's going to have to be careful. He's going to lose a lot of units, but he does have the triumph ability on the cavalry. Might have to back away now. He does just that. Cleans up the man-at-arms eventually, but he did lose a couple of units doing that. Corvinus just on 1 military. Can he hold? This is kind of crazy. He's being overwhelmed in some ways. I would love to see Urk just get an outpost here, right? Just to deny this wood line would pose a very unique problem for the Order of the Dragon, but doesn't seem to be sending anyone just yet. Urk is actually floating quite a bit of stone. He's going to go up to the next stage with the cistern. Oh, sorry, not the cistern, rather. But he can actually go to the next stage with the next landmark to get the extra cistern, but it's going to get that water level 5 first. And getting the olive grove transition, going to give him that olive oil, maybe some mercenaries. Looks like he went up with the... can't actually tell here. We'll see what units he has on the field. That give it away in terms of what mercenary contract he went for. Oh, it does get that outpost fortified, and looking a bit dicey here for Urk. It doesn't really feel like it's getting him the damage he wants. Trying to dive in once again with the Limitane. A couple of man-at-arms there for Corvinus should push that back. I think Corvinus overall will be okay with this. Like, he's not being totally pushed off the game. Looks like now the Byzantines opting for the castle age soon. It's going to go up with the Golden Horn Tower. Very commonly chosen landmark. We'll be getting military units for free, mercenary units for free, depending on the cistern's influence, which of course is right underneath there. Conscriptio, meaning that the buildings will be getting 100% boosting in terms of production speed. So we can see now the Imperial Hippodrome able to produce a horseman in 11 seconds. Going to be diving in. Dragon Villager should be able to get away. 98 HP, by the way, on that thing. Absolutely crazy with the textiles. Scout might just get out there alive. Probably should. Now the Byzantines get in the Castle Age. Is a bit of a threat here for the Order of the Dragon, because there's a lot of resources that are not safe for him to take, right? Like, once this gold vein goes down, where does he go for gold next? Everything is being kind of guarded. It's very difficult for him to have access. Byzantine archers just trying to keep the gold vein alive. Villagers coming out to the barriers have been pushed away by the gilded man-at-arms. Castle Age comes in. Now, Corvinus hasn't really had the freedom to be able to collect relics, but these man-at-arms, holy smokes, they just dive in. 6 ranged armor. Absolutely being tickled by the town centre. It's actually really difficult to deal with here. Just 2 man-at-arms, keeping so many villagers alive, alive. Well, they're alive, but they're idled. 15 villagers, almost half the economy that he has. Now he's heading back, and now he's got a bit more breathing space, right? He's got the farming transition, safe food, and he's also getting a monastery for those relics. Are the Byzantines doing the same? Not clear just yet. So we did go for the Eastern mercenary contract, having access to the Keshiks, the Gulam, and the Tower Elephants. If it gets to that stage, there are those Keshiks. Kind of pushing away those man-at-arms. Going on to the deer camp. For that extra bit of food, and well, it's certainly an interesting approach, right? We often do see a fast castle coming out for the HRE, but we're seeing it more often from Corvinus from the Order of the Dragon. And he does play the civilization quite a lot. I feel like Corvinus is probably one of the players that are going to be showing us how this civilization should be played. And Looks like fast castles on the menu. He's starting to build quite a large number of units though, Urk, so might be looking to put some pressure on getting some all-important blacksmith upgrades too. And now he's adding in the cataphracts. We do hear some prelates popping out onto the map, so maybe looking to secure those relics. Speaking of, there are 2 here ripe for the taking for the Order of the Dragon. 1 back at home as well. He's going to go for the one that's closest. He wants that income ASAP. And healing up the weak units, right? We talked about how important that keeping the units alive are. Corvinus keeping them alive and healing them up. It's definitely going to be a big feature of this civilization, you feel. You can't just afford to throw away units. Not with the Order of the Dragon. A couple of Keshiks are riding forward now as well. 50 military numbers. Quite a heavily cavalry-based army here for the Byzantines. The boar has been fully taken. And now is expanding to the secondary gold. And does have an outpost with the relic. I think this is a smart play. I mean, like, having the static defenses is super important at this stage. Because that's the only goal that's really feasible for Corvinus to take. As the Order of the Dragon. And the Byzantines should know about that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him head in that direction. As I say that though, heading in the opposite direction are the Order of the Dragon Man-at-Arms, 9 of them. And well, they're maybe looking to pick off reinforcements. And this could be a good engagement there for Orc, because he just does have a lot of units. Corvinus, he does back away. He realizes he can't take that fight. It's just too many. Maybe he's heading back home. Yeah, you can see the rallying back, right? He recognizes he's about to be pushed. He doesn't want to be defenseless. The Byzantines going to try and get wraparound. They might try and cut off the retreat. Doesn't quite manage it. The charge does come out from the Keshiks. Does get the charge, but you can see how little damage they do. And it's kind of crazy. Does use the triumph ability now. Trying to chase down and gap close with a 10% movement speed. Couple of crossbows and archers firing on the back line. Well, it does have a siege workshop, so maybe a mangonel could be popping out to take care of those crossbows. Can look to torch down that outpost. Trying to get an emplacement. Does have the access to emergency repairs. It does go down. He doesn't use the emergency repairs there, Corvinus. He missed out on keeping that alive for now. And those static defenses are not many in number. Going to try and torch down that town center. I'm not so sure about that with the emergency repairs. He might just torch down on the farms. I think it's a better play here, to be fair. Because the emergency repairs can just be used on the town center before it goes down. And it does leave Corvinus a bit of breathing space, though, to reset and get a couple of units. He needs to take a really good fight, right? Corvinus does have a decent number of military units, but he needs to wait for the right opportunity in time, and it's just not that time yet. Does send a couple of lads connected around the back just to try and raid. He's going to get a huge number of kills here on that wood line. I mean, one full swing. It does have Zornhout. You can see the HP still dropping on the villagers. You see still dropping 22. They survive for now, but do they go down? I'm not so sure. Be good to see. In any case, no, they're staying on 12 HP, but he's being pushed heavily. All the farms are almost down. The cataphracts are going to be absorbing a lot of the arrow fire if the TC is firing at them. Does have the triumph ability. All the farms are pretty much dead. And that's going to be hard to re-establish there for Corvinus. Doesn't have all that much wood. Lands connected are being pushed back by the cataphract and crossbow. Does have a mangonel. Got to be focused on the infantry. He's got to be careful here, Urk. He's got to use the trample effect. Doesn't have any cataphracts. The mangonel gets a huge shot on the archers on the back line. Keshiks try and jump on the mangonel, but Corvinus is repairing. And that mangonel is just not going down. The mangonel getting huge amounts of shots off even on the front line. A couple of gulams are there, but the villagers coming out to repair. That is a little bit oppressive, I've got to say. Mangonel deploys again, but that mangonel got so much attack. Corvinus always looking to repair. The cavalry right away. Going for the gold vein instead, and mangonel's still alive. The Byzantines lost a lot of military. They took a handful of villages, and Corvinus' ability to survive that is kind of intense. He lost a bit of infrastructure. Apparently they're farming on farms that are flamed up. He's repairing. But the mangonel, that was at the heart of the defense for the Order of the Dragon, pushing away a couple of infantry units here in the southeast. And the Byzantines remassing in the middle again. Olive groves are being being built up there for the Byzantines. Getting the sacred site on the east. Well, I was actually going to go for the relic instead. Try to go around. Is looking to get some static defenses with 2 outposts, which is certainly going to help defend. But the question is whether the Byzantines can ride in and do some significant damage. They're going to try and do just that. Mangonel deploys. He's going to look to charge in. Villagers might come out to repair once again on that wood line. They're doing just that. He does look to repair. And in the meantime, the man-at-arms is going to dive on the cavalry. Keeps the Mangonel alive. And that is absolutely huge. Keeping that Mangonel has got so much value. And Urk deciding to back away. Wasn't able to take it out in the end. Relic is being grabbed. He's got 2 so far. And that's super effective. He's going to be able to get the relics inside the outpost to defend. He's rebalancing that economy with the market as well. Spending that gold. And this is looking a bit troublesome for Urk because, like, the military's not been able to kill him off. And Corvinus is just surviving. Nice bit of economy, though, establishing for himself. He's getting a siege workshop. Recognizes that he needs to do infrastructural damage, maybe a springald or 2. Villagers are making a mad dash for the gold and probably looking to get some static defenses in the form of an outpost first, and maybe even depositing a relic could be an option. Now the thing is, for the Byzantines, they've got to recognize that gold is a bit of an issue, and where are the Order of the Dragon going to get gold from? It's got to be on this west side, right? There's not much else to go for. Can't go for the middle. It's too close to his opponent. Now, Urk does spot this right with the Keshik, but he knows there's an outpost there. He knows this is an issue. Corvinus does back away. There's not enough space inside the outpost. He's going to deny the gold for now, but don't forget, with 3 relics, Corvinus is not going to be too gold hungry. Got plenty in the bank. Going to try and torch this down. Looking to get the emplacements and the fortification. A couple of man-at-arms are heading in that position. Keshik's going to ride in with the cataphract as well. Wallalow coming off. Might try and snipe a villager, but he's got to be careful not to lose village. He does block one in. Wallalow comes in. He should get... Yeah, he does get one Keshik in the end. The villager, I think it killed him in the end. In any case, it pushes it back, and that's a smart play. Buys time, right? And it gets the emplacement in the outpost. Makes it very difficult now for Byzantines to push, especially with the army in position. 2 outposts, 1 with a relic, 1 fortified with the Mangonel as well. And that's definitely the focus for attack, right? But the Mangonel, they've got so much... I mean, is this Mangonel ever going to die in this game? It's an absolute hero unit. Oh, a couple of cataphracts and cavalry riding around on the back, and that's actually huge because, I mean, the Order of the Dragon have a very infantry-based unit, low mobility, can't get there in time, of course. Has to just try and defend with units popping out newly. But with 3 relics and 1 more coming in, gold is going to be looking healthy here for the Order of the Dragon, even without the Regulus Cathedral. Looks like Byzantines want to be pushing this, though. Does have 2 springles this time to try and take out the Mangonel. Might use the Triumph ability and the trample damage coming out of the cataphracts. So he's going to fight on the front lines. Wallalow comes up. Urk needs to get out of there. Wait, you got to get out of there. Does he get out in time? That's the question. I'm not so sure he does. Oh no, he lost a big chunk of the army. A big Wallalow there for the Order of the Dragon. Corvinus, he should turn the tide of this fight. A massive, massive Wallalow, and Byzantines will be kicking their teeth, kicking their heels, and that he didn't get out of there in time. And that defense should hold now, especially with the converted units. Corvinus, he's known for his Wallalows, and he got another one. Mangonel on the back line manages to kill a lot of the infantry, and even the springald emplacement inside the outpost took away the springalds that the Byzantines had, and that was a great pushback by Corvinus. See the trample effect coming out for the cataphracts, but it's not going to be enough. The Limitane fighting off their own units, but now they're fighting with the Order of the Dragon. And all of a sudden, these numbers are looking healthy for Corvinus, especially in this area here. Mangonel deploys. And there's enough here for a meat shield. 1 cataphract might just break through. No, he backs away. He doesn't go for the Mangonel this time. Yeah, there's not enough HP on that cataphract left. And all of a sudden now, the population numbers here for Corvinus in terms of military is ahead. So great engagement there for Corvinus, especially with the conversion and the Wallalow. And he's got safe gold access. You felt that was always a bit of a problem here for the Order of the Dragon. Could have been a problem. Byzantines were trying to make it a problem. But that Wallalow changed everything. And now with this, Corvinus feels like the momentum is in his corner. Going to move forward with that mangonel that just never seems to die. Now the land's connected, trying to get some raiding, but gets caught out and scouted. That gold income is looking so healthy for Corvinus. Obviously making sure he gets as much of the gold as he can whilst it's still safe, right? But he does have 4 relics as well. Now transitioning over to the deer, which is certainly the right push, and he's going to be pushing in some of the deer camp as well. Towards the mill. Kills it with the mangonel. Adds a bit of spice to that deer meat, I guess. A bit of rubble. Now the Byzantines have been scaling their economy, of course, with the water level 5, and does have a significant number of villagers extra. I think all of these villages will have the 25% enhancement. So kind of in some ways it matches the dragon villages. And he has a lot of them, the Byzantines. So his economy should be a lot stronger. The question is, can he take a decisive fight? He needs to make sure that those 4 relics don't become a factor in this game. But as the game does wear on, it does increasingly become a factor. Couple of man-at-arms heading around the back. Crossbow will spot this. Corvin needs to be careful not to give the attack notification. He does pull away. No, don't attack the mill. Oh, that's rough. Okay, gives the attack notification. Now, obviously, Aoe4 will know about this, and he will get back in position. But Corvin is backing away with those units. One lance connector. Will he get another hit? Will he kill some villagers? Quite possibly. If he gets another swing, he might just... I think the villagers get out of there in time just about, but he's always got to be careful with this lance connector coming in, especially with the Zornhau ability. Going to be the Palace of Swabia. This is where things become really difficult, right? Because whilst the Byzantines do have a stronger economy now, that's not going to last for too long, especially with the Palace of Swabia Imperial Age, especially with the upgrades coming in for the military. It becomes very difficult. He's got another mangonel cooking as well. Oh, this is crazy. Take a look at this. Guys, the Gulam is actually building the mangonel on the field. He transfers his ability to build that siege engine on the field, which obviously the Order Dragon would not necessarily usually get. Mangonels has been a bit of a problem here for Urk, I gotta say. Palace of Swabia will go up in a very protected position, right? 2 outposts, 1 with a relic inside it. And Urk has got to deal with an Imperial Age army. This is do or die, I feel. He's got to go, and he's going. Got 87 military, so he might deal well, but the Springald does get sniped. Only 1 Springald in, 2 mangonels. Tries to get close to the mangonels, but massive mangonel shot there. Does it still 1 more? Another mangonel shot, and those lance cannons are ripping through the infantry front line. The cataphracts trying to get through to that mangonel, does get through. But another mangonel shot comes out, takes out a lot of HP on the Limitane and on the crossbows, and this is a problem. That mangonel's still alive. He's repairing it once again. It's going to be so frustrating for the Byzantines. It does go down, but guess what? There's another mangonel possibly coming along. He just has to back away. Doesn't have the military numbers to defend it, he feels. Does have a Springald as well, the Byzantines. This is a good push here by Urk. He might just get a win on this area here. And if he does deny that Palace of Swabia, if he does camp it and destroy it, it could be a strong push. He doesn't have that much in the way of siege, though, I've got to say. 43 military. I'm not sure if he has enough. He's going to go right into the heart of the base, but there's so many static defenses, right? It's actually very difficult to push, especially without siege. Going around the north, but there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Byzantines taps out. He realizes he is down and out and far behind on economy, especially with the Palace of Swabia. Corvinus and that mangonel won the game on Cliffside. Hope you guys enjoyed this casted game. If you're watching on YouTube, do give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Take care, and see you next time.